Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 223. I'm your host as always. I'm Dan. I'm joined by my co-host as always. It is Samson. How you doing, buddy? You feeling okay out there in the cold?
Oh, it be cold, Dan. I've been doing a lot of shoveling, and I don't quite feel sick yet, but I feel a sickness coming. Everybody who lives here is sick, and I've been trying to stave it off, but I don't know if I could do it much longer. How are things above the border?
I'm okay. Definitely not getting sick, touch wood, but it is incredibly cold here too. We've had, on Sunday, was the most snow Toronto has had since 1937.
Wow. A long time, man.
That says it all. In one day, that's what it means. In one day, not, just not over a week or something, just in one day. That day of Sunday was mental. But great day for indoors. I think I saw...
Did you lose power?
No, we're okay. But there was a snowplow a few blocks from us who hit like a power line or something or pole, and it cut power for everybody in that block. But luckily we're just next to it. We're not too
nice.
We just missed the radius, shall we say. But a good time for VR gaming. I saw Ryan Engel, who is the developer of Golf Plus, saying the user base spiked this weekend because of all the cold storms. And obviously, if you're not in North America, or definitely not in like the central to east coast of North America, you might not know what we're talking about, because it's only affecting us in this kind of region. But the weather is ridiculous.
A good amount of the country,
all the way to Texas. All the way to Texas.
Very hyper local, yeah.
I also saw that the NFL game with the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots was crazy. How that game was being played.
I wish it was being played at home, because it was snowing worse here.
Yeah, that's true. It's only a 10-7 game, I think it was at the end. But anywho, thanks for everyone for joining us and listening to us and on your commutes right now as you're listening to us. Today's going to be a really fun episode. There's not really like in particular news to discuss, to be honest, but we're going to kind of just discuss what gaming's like for us in 2026, and kind of not just talk about VR, but also talk about all, like the whole umbrella. Yeah, a bit laid back, and just discuss what devices we have, what do we play on a day to day or a week by week or month by month. How bad is our backlog? Do we struggle with the choice that's out there this in 2026, and so on and so forth. So we'll have a fun little discussion of that. But before, we also at the end, in part 3, we have a big section of getting to know us. Future Proof, who is Patreon of the show. This is the 4th time now that he sent us 10 questions. And we've done this, I think September was the first time he sent it. I think he kind of sent it almost once a month. And basically sent us 10 questions that we're going to answer, which a mix of like gaming related, mix of just general like personal life kind of thing related.
Some random stuff. So we'll have that at the end in part 3. But yeah, honestly, if you're on your commute, just enjoy this easy podcast. If you're just listening to us at home, sit back, relax, make a tea, make a brew. Is what we would say. Or if you're at work, pretending to work.
Yeah. Just enjoy the little discussion. But Samson, as always, a little bit of a housekeeping first.
Housekeeping.
Discord there's a link below. It's completely free to join. Most of you who listen to the podcast are in the Discord, but there's a bunch of you who aren't at the same time. Don't be afraid of Discord. I was afraid of Discord before Samson created it. Before Samson created it for the podcast, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And it's really straightforward. And there's a lot of friendly community. There's a big friendly community, shall I say, with a lot of friendly people in the Discord. So definitely come on down. We have a Walkabout tournament that Healing Entree
is kind enough to put on a weekly basis. I think week 3 of the courses has now begun, right, Samson? Is that correct?
Yeah, you're correct. Week 3 of season 14, we have Mount Olympus Easy and Alfheim Hard. Sorry for you thought I was going to talk longer. And we can take the score and the race modes, of course. And would you like me to give the results of last week? Is that what you were?
No. I just took a swig of water because I thought you were going to say, you could submit scores and such. That's why I took a swig of water. But alas, you did it. You did it.
Submit scores by midnight on Mondays, Eastern time, midnight.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 Healing Entree in the Discord. There's also Walkabout Thursdays and sometimes on the weekends with Samson. Thursdays, Cardboard Dave, patron of the show, a good friend of the show. He's been putting those on a Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you do want to join in as well, just come in the Discord. We've had a few new Discord members, and I know a couple of them joined the Thursday session, which is really nice to see. As well. Samson, comments, people can write in. They can't have pigeon mail, unfortunately. There's no PO box. That we got a question of that in the Discord recently. Maybe we do make a little PO box, but you can send us questions on Spotify, on YouTube comments, on the Discord. There's an episode discussion channel on there. letstalkoculus@gmail.com can also be one. Samson, we have a couple of questions just to discuss in here before we get going. Do you want to read out the first question?
I'd love to. From Siegfried 19888 on episode 222. Last episode, here's my question to satisfy the wrath of VR gamers, because Meta is ditching VR gaming. That, combined with the translation systems that Valve now has for ARM and x86 games to work instantly on SteamOS, do you think Meta will be willing to put their PC and Quest exclusives on Steam? Framed, I see what you did there, in a way that exclusive games is hurting VR community, and to help it spread to put their games on more platforms, since flat screen games are ditching exclusives, with the exception of Nintendo. Dan,
what do you think?
I do not think so. I just feel like if they haven't done it yet, there's really no plan to. I feel like with the things with Avalanche is what we heard, right? They were trying to figure out ways to stream the PC. I feel like that's more likely, probably, I feel, than putting them. But I would love to see their games go to PSVR 2 and Steam. I think they would probably sell better than they have so far. And especially now with Steam Frame out, I do think they'd sell better, but I think the ego tends to get in the way of these things, and just like general contracts, probably difficult to work out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't, apart from, like you said, just ego and such. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't in the end of the day, because they put it out on these devices, and it's easy money. It's easy money. A lot of their like exclusive stuff are really good. Like really good, like not just like decent, but they are really good. Some obviously better than others, and you put out those onto other platforms, and you're laughing. You're just going to make money essentially in the end of the day. Obviously, there's a little bit of work to be done to make them compatible for those other devices. Yeah. But aside from that, it's pretty easy money. I'm pretty sure like porting something from the Quest to a Steam Frame and such wouldn't be too difficult in the end of the day, but it depends if they want to put money into doing that. But if they do, I think they would make a lot of money. I don't know, I think maybe they wait until to see how Steam Frame's done, and because obviously with the PSVR 2 numbers, maybe they're not too bothered about it with the numbers or such, or the reception, and they don't find that it's worth it. I mean, look at Beat Saber. They pulled it, basically. That's what they own, right? So maybe with the PSVR, no. But if the Steam like goes crazy and sells crazy numbers, I think they'll be mad not to. Not to.
What is crazy numbers, right? What the Steam Deck did a few million, right? It was like something like up to 5 million I feel like is what I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's whatever they deem would be very profitable and worth the money to port, right?
So regardless, I don't think it's going to sell as well as the Steam Deck has.
Right.
Like as many. I don't know about as well. And so I just think that the expectations have to be lower. And that's not a lot of headsets compared to the Quest, right?
Yeah.
Even the Quest 3 and 3S has sold probably many, many millions compared to 5. I imagine it's above that.
Well, also the PC stuff that's on the Rift store, that's still all there, ready. That you could still buy those things, right? They just put in all of the the games that kind of were lost, like a Stormland and such, all came back, over the last year or 2 years now. So they're all there. They come and go, right? So you could still, as long as you can still get them. I mean, I guess if they move them, because they don't have to do anything in terms of porting there. Obviously, it's already on PC VR, but it's just if they don't want it on a little storefront, because you have to lose on profits there. So if they can do the Rift store and then that still plays nicely with the Steam frame, then sure, I think that just works for people. But it's more I think the biggest question is the Quest exclusives. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do it, because I don't think they're just going to bother. I feel like they're just going to abandon ship with those kind of games, and those games are unfortunately going to die on the Quest platform when that eventually does die over the next maybe 5 years or so. Who's to say? But
something like Batman.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I wish they do it, and to me, it makes a lot of sense to do it, but. I don't. I think just like you're saying, I think it's an ego thing, or maybe they just don't care. And those, unfortunately, when it comes to preservation, I think we had a question on that last week. I don't think these games are going to be preserved. I think they're just going to be disappeared from the ether, unfortunately.
It's kind of sad that the one game that they did try it with was Medal of Honor, that did not do well on Steam.
No. Did that go on Steam? Was that on the actual Steam store? Yeah, fair enough. That's good to know for our revisited episode soon. It's good to know. So yeah, I wish, just like you're saying, but I don't think it will happen. It'd be pleasantly surprising. And yeah, along with the Quest stuff, not anytime soon. I think right now a lot of people are hurt by Meta and really looking to jump ship. So if they port exclusives over, they'll be like, okay, we're definitely gone because they're over there. But in a couple of years' time, maybe. Let's just hope. Second question here, Samson, from VR Nerd. This is also on Spotify from last week's episode. He just asks, or she just asked, do you know any good free mixed reality sandbox games? Now, I just realized that he said free. Do we have any free ones there, Samson, or just kind of paid ones? Yes?
Yes. Dungeon Maker is a free sandbox game that takes place in mixed reality. You essentially make yourself a dungeon in your room. So you can change what the floors are. There can be sort of quote-unquote enemies that walk around. What kind of traps? Think of all the traps that you thought, like Indiana Jones
the booby
or
traps,
Ancient
basically.
Dungeon. Yeah, like all the booby traps, right? You've got a swinging sword. Things come up from the ground. Maybe pits, so to say. Spikes. And you can just you can have it like you can. I remember I mapped out my whole room and then I had it autofill it. But you can laboriously, I think, sort of map out your own if you wanted.
Yeah,
I'm not that creative. But
I know there's like a
free.
DLC as well that you can buy for like an ice pack, right?
Yeah, the DLCs are basically skins for the dungeons. I don't remember exactly which one you start with, but there is an ice. There's a more ancient Mayan, Aztec, if you will, vibe. And then I forget. I think there's a third. I forget what it is though.
Yeah.
And then as far as good mixed reality games that are not free. There's Coaster Mania, where you make little roller coasters around your room, and Trackcraft, where you make
it's kind of
little
equivalent, like Hot Wheels,
little racetracks. Yeah, sort of Hot Wheels type of deal.
Yeah, very good. I've heard good things about Trackcraft, to be honest. I know PJ, friend of the show, he really liked that game.
Trackcraft and Coaster Mania each have sort of like a basic puzzle, if you will, where you like a single player. Coaster Mania's got one where you've got to make coasters to get through circles that are placed around, and if Trackcrafts is, I think, just timed little races that you try to finish each little course.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for your question. Obviously, Dungeon Makers answers the one that you want, but if you want to branch out, I don't think Coaster Mania and Trackcraft are particularly expensive games either, to be honest.
If I remember correctly, they're $10 or so.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, thanks for your question, Beyond. I think that's the first time you've asked a question. So, thank you and welcome to the show. So,
yes, the VR nerd has found the proper place to be.
Correct. Let's talk about our topic of the show, where it's going to be more of a discussion piece. Basically, what is gaming like for you in 2026, Samson? You know, it's 2026 now. We are spoiled. It's 2026. We are spoiled for choice. Let's discuss where like VR fits in our gaming rotation. Like, there's so much to play, whether it's on VR, whether it's on anything else, right? You know, what are we playing outside of VR, and what do we enjoy gaming on the most? Like, you know, there's so many devices. I've been to your house, Samson. I know how many different like gaming devices you have, but what do you prefer gaming on, essentially? So I want to discuss like things that maybe we're struggling with, or like, do you struggle with choice or options? Like, how's the backlog doing? You know, do you have a backlog list? I know you do, but do you have like a specific, you know how you like, it's on the backlog, I have this game, I bought it, but it's on the backlog. But do you actually just have like a little list of like 10-15 games that you really want to get to, basically? Or is it just, I own all these games, I'll try and get to them at some point, which I probably never will? Does it look like that? Bit of both. Interesting.
I've got a lot of different lists because I lose the lists eventually.
And you create a new list.
And then I create a new list, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. I could keep up these lists, and then much like working out or something like this. You know,
that's fair enough.
You get consistent, and then you're like, yeah, I'll take a couple days off here, and then you're like, shit, it's been 2 months.
Let's first discuss like what kind of devices that we have. I'll start here. I think with my devices that are currently on rotation, shall we say, is for like Game Boy games. I have an emulation device called the Trim UI Brick, which is not that expensive. It's around Trim UI Brick. It's about $50 $60, I think it is. It's worth every penny. The screen is absolutely beautiful. You can play a lot of games on there. It's vertical, and it feels really nice as well. And I have big hands, but it kind of just fits my hands perfectly. Like, it's not too big, it's very pocketable, but it's not too clunky. It's actually kind of nice looking. And that works for like all your classic like Game Boy games or your Sega games and all that stuff. It doesn't have analog sticks. It's just wait, it does have analog. No. Analog sticks are the ones with the thumbsticks, basically. It doesn't have the thumbsticks. It just has the D-pad, essentially, and 4 buttons. And it does have 4 triggers at the back. Yeah, which feel really nice. And you can actually pop off the triggers, and they come with, like, different variations of one. But on there, I'm actually still playing Link to the Past on there. I've never finished that game before, and I'm essentially halfway through, and I'm very stuck. So I used to play it quite a lot, but I've been very stuck for a while, so I haven't gone back to play it since. I did try the other day, but not properly. But I'm loving that for like my kind of Game Boy games. I mean, Samson, you have an analog pocket, right? Which kind of scratches that kind of itch as well, which is very nice. I remember trying it. It's a very nice device.
Yeah, I do like the analog pocket. It's a good little Game Boy device. I mostly use it for Tetris and the Pokemon game here and there. And then if I'm watching a YouTube video and they're like, "Oh, these games are kind of fun on Game Boy," I'm like, "All right, I'll give those a whirl."
Yeah,
but I don't really intend to like play through those ones. More just to dip my toes into them. It's really mostly a Tetris. Although I did play a bunch of those Crash Bandicoot games that we talked about. Yeah. So really, like when I find a game to play,
you throw it in.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
I do enjoy you can use like physical media on that, right? You can actually use the proper Game Boy games, which is really nice because I do have quite a few back at home in my UK home, but I don't have. I have a Game Boy SP, but that's also back in the UK home, but that's something that I don't really get out as much. But
that's pocketable.
Yeah, that's packable. And then Samson, we both have a Steam Deck. I also once again use a Steam Deck more for emulation purposes. I do have quite a few games on there, but I think Hollow Knight and there's another game which I now forget on top of my list. But I play those kind of. I really like like sometimes those handheld games, those indie games. Sorry, are so suited to handheld. It's those kind of games that I really like. But honestly, once again, I'm playing Zelda Wind Waker on there from the Wii U, which is on the Steam Deck, because it's absolutely beautiful game. And I go back to a lot of Zelda games because I haven't played these games and I missed out as a kid. So I'm going back to those. And I played so much of it on Sunday when it was a snow day, and it was so much fun.
Did you have a Wii U? Because not many people did. Yeah.
No. But they work so well on it, and it's beautiful. So I use it a lot for emulation, but I know you don't have the emulation on your Steam Deck, right? But do you use it much at all anymore?
Yeah. Lately, most recently, I was playing Dispatch because after playing it in big screen, I wanted to replay the first and second chapters and sort of make different decisions. So I played that on the Steam Deck a bit. And then I plug it into the TV and I'll play there here and there. Yeah. A lot of simple games when I'm like sort of getting ready. I have it in my bedroom, getting ready for bed. Sort of like puzzly simple games. I forget the name of this one, but it's like transportation. People are taking like buses or trains, and you've got to seat everybody. And everybody's got stipulations. So, like, I don't want to sit next to a kid. I'm stinky. I like to listen to my music and all this, and that's pretty fun.
That's fun.
I like those little.
You got to get the name out of that game because that sounds really interesting. It's
I'm sure
fun little puzzle game.
We'll put it in the comments.
Yes,
I do like the Steam Deck for. I'm a big portable. I do play portable a lot. I've also got the PlayStation Portable.
Yeah, the PS Portal, you mean? Yeah. Or the actual PSP? Which one?
Yeah, the Portal.
Okay, yeah. You said PlayStation Portable. I thought you whipping out the PSP now and again.
You wanted to hear that. I said PlayStation Portal.
I did want to hear that. Okay, I also, I had a PS5 as well. We actually just finished Split Fiction, finally.
Nice.
We got close to the end, but then never finished it. And then we went and played on Sunday, and it literally took like an hour, and we finished it. And I was like, "Oh, we were that close." The end level is so crazy the way they did it. It's really fun.
This is what I've heard.
Yeah, it's really fun. But I still like It Takes Two more than it, to be honest. I just
really?
like I like the vibe. I like the characters a little bit more. But Split Fiction's really good too. It's like up there for sure. Do you play much of your PS5, or is it more to do with VR?
Like flat. I play. Recently, I got into Sonic Transformed. I really like kart racers.
Yeah, I know you do. And, you own so many kart racers.
A lot of kart racers. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch. I mean, Analog Pocket. I even tried that Crash Nitro Kart.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good on the Game Boy Advance.
No.
But yeah, that Sonic Transformed game, quite good.
Oh yeah.
Quite a good, yeah.
Is that like a relative new one?
Yeah, it is, and it's got PS5 Pro enhancements, so it looks nice and slick on that TV.
Oh yeah, it's 9 out of 10 reviews on Steam.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good, dude.
Nice, very very good. And then obviously, I know Samson, you've been dabbling in a lot of PS1 games recently. You've trying to build like a bit of a collection. What kind of collection are you kind of building? Just all your old ones that you liked, or just kart racing games?
Well, so I had a PlayStation 1 as a kid, so I was like, man, now if I had that now, and with all the like knowledge, like if I was a PlayStation 1 gamer, like I'm a VR gamer, that's sort of how I ended up with a lot of the games I got. A lot of random puzzle games. There's one called like Dice Party, I think, and it's just a bunch of people standing on dice, and you roll the dice, and you've got to get them to match up.
Which it actually looks wicked. It's also got multiplayer and all that stuff, right? Co-op and all that.
Yeah. And then just a bunch of the classic, like, I used to be a big sports game guy, so a lot of the midway games, like NBA Jam, NFL Blitz.
Of course.
And I found out that I used to play NFL Game Day. That was like my PlayStation NFL game growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I saw that they made an NFL Game Day 2005 or 2004 for PlayStation 1 in 2004 or 2005.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the last released PlayStation 1 games. So I had to find that one on eBay. It's a classic. The player, ooh. The animations are great.
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing that now. Yeah, that came out in 2004. Didn't the PS1 come out in 1994? That's the 10 years later.
Something like that, yeah.
I think the PS2 was 99. That's hilarious.
Another one I found this was at a local retro store, was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. That somehow also got released on the PlayStation 1.
No way. Wow.
It was a different port. It was like a different port of the game. It wasn't the whole... the one that was on PlayStation 2, but yeah, I just random things like this, and since I can play them on the PlayStation 3 without like needing the multi-tap and all that, it's chef kiss. But yeah, that's fun. It's a good time. Love myself the retro games.
Yeah, that's really fun. I also had a PS1 growing up, but it actually broke in the end. But I don't have any of the games or anything like that anymore. But yeah, it's funny. That was a time where like you have so many versions of the same sports game because so many different companies make. Like there was like 10 different soccer games in 1 year, but they're all slightly different. But
we need competition in sports games. We need to like, I don't know, get the sports leagues to not want them somehow. Like be like, hey, the fans don't want just EA to make all these games.
Or 2K make them a lot too.
We would like some alternatives.
They would like to, and also stuff like NFL Blitz and NBA Jam. They don't really make those kind of games anymore. But even if they do,
that's in part why.
Right, yeah. So they needed stuff to kind of separate them and such. But very, very good. You just mentioned PS3 there. You do much on the PS3, or is it more to do with PS1?
Oh, most recently I've been playing some Grand Theft Auto 4 and Head Coach. That was a game I never got into.
Head Coach, what is that?
It's basically you're a head coach for an NFL team.
You're in the NFL mood right now, aren't you?
Well, this was a couple months ago. I was playing this one.
Fair enough.
Dan, honestly, a head coach game would be perfect for VR because you're not expected to be playing on the field. You just watch it all happen. Yeah. And so you just tell everybody what to do. It almost plays like a management game.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like you're practicing certain plays during the week, and then those plays are more likely to be successful in the game, and then you're picking the plays during the game, and you don't really have a say as to like how they're executed. So like in Madden, you can kind of like cheese things, like and in the old school Madden, you could be really fast quarterback and just run or whatever. Whereas these games are more just mathematics playing out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
That would be a cool game in VR, to be honest, a management kind of game for a sports team or whatnot. Like the amount of stuff you could, a lot of those type of games are very PC games because there's a lot going on. It's the whole just like computer and all the data and such. But you could definitely more like gamify it or arcade it a little bit more in a VR system. But yeah, I could think of something like NFL where you're essentially making up plays, drawing up plays, but then you got to watch them in practice and such. And yeah. There might be a bit too much detail for a VR sense, but on the surface, it sounds like a good idea. On the surface, it is.
I mean, it's the thing is, it's like a chess match that's already played out, so you're just like getting it all. You know what I mean? Nothing's like custom, so to say. It's all already pre-animated. But Dan, I almost forgot because a lot of what I do on the PlayStation 5 is a lot of
car races
gaming.
Right.
Like couch multiplayer gaming, things like this. Particularly, well, this sort of does come from the kart racers and Crash Team Racing. Oh, my love Crash Team Racing. But Towerfall, Overcooked, and Boomerang Fu. And Boomerang Fu, I play a lot with my partner's daughter, and it is a great game to play with kids or all ages. And it's up to 6 people can play. And maybe just a Switch version, I'm not sure, but very good time.
Once again, like 5 stars on Steam. Boomerang Fu. I've not heard of this at all.
Yeah, I don't fuck around, Dan.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're doing your research. You're doing your research. Yeah, this got so many like awards as well in 2019 when this came.
Essentially, you're all little food items, and you have a boomerang that you can either slash or throw it at people, and it's one hit kill and very quick rounds.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
It plays similar to Towerfall in that way, mechanically.
Okay. Do you think it will work just with 2 players, or is it better with more and more players because it's chaos?
Well, you can have bots. You can throw in bots.
Oh, okay, fair. Interesting. Boomerang Fu. Very cool. But I agree. Like, for me, the PS5, I'm using it more for couch co-op games than anything at this point. I also prefer the handheld. There's something, like, really cozy about it. And I get the immersion from VR, which kind of takes us to VR, Samson. So these VR games, where on earth do we fit this into your weekly schedule? Or is VR essentially your main... No matter what day and age it is, you'll play some VR, and then everything else kind of just fits in between. Is that what it's like?
I don't really have a regularity. I'd say it's just I sort of just go with the vibes. I sort of carve out the most amount of time when I'm alone, and that's probably when I try to do my most VR time.
Yeah.
Like my partner works every other weekend, and then some weekdays I get home time to myself.
Yeah.
That said, I do game a lot, and in VR when people are home.
Right.
But gaming's pretty much my main hobby when I'm not outside touching grass and doing those activities. So I have a lot of my free time. A high percentage of it is dedicated to gaming, and it sort of just goes with what I'm in the mood to play, which is sort of why I don't finish a lot of games. I just sort of like get tastes here and there.
Correct.
But there are times where I get like hyper locked in to a game, like with Vertigo. It's happened more recently too. I just can't think of a game right off the top of my head where I just get locked in. Like I gotta finish this. And then there are the rhythm games that I keep going back to here and there, like Synth Riders, Beat Saber, now Lumines, Tetris Effect, and these games don't really have an ending. So I guess to answer the backlog question, Dan, also is my backlog is ever extending and will never be complete. And I have gotten over mostly my really bad collecting days. Early in my Steam life, though, I was bad. I was really bad. I was seeking out Steam Anonymous, those Steam sales, the Fanatical, the
humble bundles.
I think those sirens were singing, Dan, and I was a weak Odysseus.
I think your backlog collecting days kind of thing is starting to teeter, like come to an end, just simply because you probably own everything you want to own at this point. You probably like have them all, or to the most part.
There's not much on your wish list, surely.
It's a lot of just life circumstance, Dan. When I first got my computer and all that, it was COVID. I didn't really have many other expenses. I had a job that I was making pretty good money, and I had just moved back to my parents, so I was paying a rent at that time. Right. It was a perfect storm for Gabe.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I understand. I think, I don't think you're alone in that. Everyone in our Discord will probably relate to that. I think when it comes to VR, I'm kind of like you, where there's no kind of set kind of option. Like, the only thing that I have set is sometimes when I'm preparing for the pod on Sundays, which I'm normally preparing for the pod, if there's like a game that we need to play or something like that, I'm normally spending it on that day. Unless there's like, we're doing obviously the Medal of Honor Revisited episode soon. Obviously, I can't just play that in just one Sunday. That's going to have to be a few days or whatnot. Same with Walkabout when those come out. But generally, on the Sunday, I'd play something or whatnot just to see, if there's something I want to talk about or whatnot. But aside from the podcast kind of dictating, it's generally when I don't feel too tired from the screen is when I want to go in VR. Sometimes the last thing, because I work pretty much on the computer for most of my day, the last thing sometimes when I come back is to then go into a VR headset, just because my eyes are like tired, and so I don't even watch too much TV after work because of that same kind of thing. For some reason, handheld gaming or like reading a book or something that's just in front of me is not as bad as being in a VR headset or watching TV. But that's just, that's just how it is. But for some reason, it's probably just because of just eye strain or something, I do get really tired. So I do, in terms of VR, I tend to just save it for the weekends more than anything, just because of that. And it just depends what we're doing on the weekends. But it's just really when I want to get immersed in like a world, that's kind of when I want to play a VR.
You use blue light glasses at work?
I don't. I think I should. Yeah, I hear they help. I should. I mean, I used to wear glasses all my life. I got laser eye surgery in 2022. And then I'm like, oh, God, get glasses anyway for the blue light. But you're right. It's a good idea. I mean, I do put like the filters on my Mac and such, but I always forget to do it during the day. During the night when I'm on the Mac, I always put the filter on for nighttime mode. But yeah, I need to be better at that, to be honest. But
Quest has it too. I used it once. It made everything look too sepia.
That's the problem. When you're playing a game, you don't want it to look different, right? You want the colors to look exactly how it needs to be. So yeah, with VR, I'm kind of in the... It's because I do a lot of work on the computer, and I'm also doing some developer like studying and such on the computer. Sometimes it is the last thing I want to do on a Monday to Friday, but I'm like you as well. Like if my partner's out for the evening or something like that and I am alone, I find that's the better time to play. But I normally play anytime. I mean, the other day I was playing Thief, and that was on a weekday, and we'll talk about that in part 2. So it just really depends. If I'm not tired and I'm in the mood of playing a game, I'll go into there. But if I am tired and I'm in the mood of playing a game, I'm normally reaching for my Steam Deck or the Trim UI brick, to be honest. But and on to your thing about backlog. My backlog, I almost fell into the same trap as you of buying everything on Steam. When I bought a Steam Deck last year, I very much was almost like that, where I was like, oh, I wanted to be really intentional, but that got away from me really quickly because of the sales. Like I just started adding a bunch of stuff that I would want on my wish list, and all of a sudden there's so many sales on the wish list, and this is now available. So yeah, I don't really have like a set list, but if I was to kind of describe a set list in terms of my backlog, most of them will be VR games, because I think just because the VR games, most of them were like paid full price and such, and also some of them are just like really good games that I really want to finish, and they're more recent games, right? I think when you look at a backlog from games from the past, like the Zelda games and such, I'm not in a rush to complete them for no reason, but for some reason when it's a newer game like the Deadpool, the Ghost Town, or Arcanage, all that stuff, they're like
I would say, on my top of my list of backlogs. And then I just want to finish Wind Waker and Links to the Past. I think they're the only other two that are on my backlog. But aside from that, everything else will just come and go as they go. Do you have, like, I know you said you have like 2,500 lists, but could you name like 5 games that you know you really want to get through?
Oh, well, I most recently made a list, actually. I shared it in Squashy's Discord, I believe, where somebody else actually shared their own Google Doc that's fillable in. It's a pretty cool idea. But Dan, I wanna get back to, I want to play Grand Theft Auto 4 this year. And I no longer think Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out this year, so I've got time. Did
you ever finish it? Grand Theft Auto 4, or are you just going back to it?
Yeah. But I played it on like 360 or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
I still remember it came out, I think it was May or something like this. It was just after finals. Yeah. And I was visiting my girlfriend who still had finals going on. And I was just spending all my time playing
GTA. That's one of my favorite. San Andreas is still always going to be my top, but that's definitely still number 2 as my favorite GTA.
It's a good one.
I love it so much.
The physics are hilarious.
Yeah, they are. And it's obviously not as crazy in terms of cheats as what a lot of people like in the other games, but yeah, I love the characters. I love the whole story. I love the fact that it has 2 endings at the end as well. Great game.
Yeah, there's one I want to finish. If we're going, so VR is really where I play a lot of my new games, but I do fit in some new flat games like Dispatch. Although I did play that in VR.
You did, yeah.
So I do want to finish that one. I feel like there's a few other sort of flat games just come up. And there was Need for Speed Unbound was in the PlayStation like monthly games. So I started playing a little bit of that. And then I was like, I have Need for Speed, like a Hot Pursuit, one of those like remastered. So I started playing a bunch of that one too. Oh man, they scratch such an itch. I love those games so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on the backlog list, or you could just rattle on a few more?
I mean, these are ones that I don't really want to play Unbound, but the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, I do want to play a lot more of that.
I love that one.
And it's kind of fun to see all the all like your friends lists. Yeah. And if even though I'm in the single player, if I do it faster than one of my friends on their list, it'll give me extra points. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
Very cool. I love that game. Yeah. I played that when it came out, and on like I think it was on PS4 or PS3, PS4, maybe PS4.
I have it on 4.
It was amazing. It was so good. So good. All right, as we teeter off this, I've seen that twice now. Off this topic here. Do you struggle with anything, Samson, when it comes to gaming? Like, do you struggle with choice and options now that there is many? And the reason why I asked this is because I spoke to my partner the other day, and I was like, I remember back in the day when I was a child, we used to have all these like Xbox games or PS1. I was a Xbox kid, not a PS2 kid. And I just remember, like, it'll be a random Saturday. Obviously, I'm a child, so no responsibilities. And I'd go through my list of games, pick out like 4 of them, and then close my eyes and do like eeny, meeny, miny, mo to pick which one I want to play. And then I'd just play that one and have a great time. And I'm like, nowadays, because of so much choice that we have, like, we don't just have a set of 8 games or whatever to play from or whatnot. We have so many games. And also because we have more disposable income, I can also buy more games, which is a bad thing to do, very easily now from the store and download them without needing to leave my house or anything like that. And the internet's so quick nowadays. Like, I struggle with choice sometimes. I sometimes sit there and I'm like, okay, I really want to play a game, but I don't know what to play. And I have all of these games here, but I'm like, what's in the mood? And the reason why I say this is because last Wednesday I was fairly sick. Like, my voice disappeared, as everyone know if they listened to the podcast last week. I didn't really have a voice. The voice worked, but the day before we recorded, I had zero voice, and which is why we had to postpone for the patrons. So I just kind of just sat because I couldn't do my work involves a lot of talking. So I stopped. Obviously, I had to take like almost a sick day from work, like an unofficial sick day kind of thing. And so I was doing a bit of work, but I was also just playing Red Dead 2. And I kind of went through a bunch of different games first. I went into Mortal Kombat. I went into Spider-Man 2, Clair Obscur and such, and I kind of just dipped in and out for like 10 minutes of each of these games, and I just landed on Red Dead 2, and because I was just in the mood just to ride a horse around the world, and I did not do one mission. I just rode around with my horse, just like tying up people and putting them on train tracks and, you know, hunting rabbits and legendary animals, and I literally spent like 4 hours playing this game doing nothing but just on my horse, and I actually had a great time. It was the first time where I was like, I actually don't mind just playing what I want and enjoying what I want, and it's a feeling that I don't really get as much now because there's so much choice and so much things to think about. But do you have that struggle, or do you kind of like no problem and you just go with whatever you want to play and you're good with it?
I think most of the time I don't realize what even are my options because they're all there, but there's just so many of them that they all blend together. As a kid, I was a bit of a basic bitch. It was like, all right, what's the new Madden and FIFA? This is what I'm playing for the next year. I don't remember ever looking at multiple games and being like, what do I want to play? It was always like, yo, bud, you want to come over and play Madden all day? Yeah, sure. All right, see you soon. All right, cool.
Nice. And easy choices.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I did then. But now it's just like what I'm in the mood for. I guess I've got an idea of a lot of the games I have, and I'm like, oh, this is a nice little quick game that I know I could hop into, or I wanted a little taste of this world, or this looks like it'd be really fun with this friend. Like I gotta try that. And that's sort of how it goes these days.
That's fair. Bringing it back to VR, with the Steam Frame obviously coming soon, do you anticipate playing a lot of flat screen games in it, potentially? Like, are you expecting to do that? Because obviously your Steam library is going to be in it. You're going to be able to play almost everything that you have on the Steam library because it's going to probably play as well as a Steam Deck, which can play a lot of these games. Can you imagine yourself playing a lot of games like that, or maybe just it really just a
depends
little bit more?
on how they look and all that, and really how comfortable it is. It does seem like a very comfortable headset, but imagine if they have like 3D effects, that type of stuff. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, or even just lighting bouncing around the room. Then in big screen, I forgot how good the lighting is in big screen.
It is. It's amazing. Wild. Yeah, it feels like you're in a theater. They've absolutely nailed it. But yeah, imagine if you're playing on like a big screen, basically, playing that game, playing a game from your Steam Deck. I don't know. I'd be more up for it, but then obviously the games that I'd play on there would be more like big games rather than those indie games. Like for some reason, just being on a nice little cozy couch playing this on a handheld, there's something beautiful about that kind of experience, to be honest. But yeah, very, very good, Samson. Before we end this part, though, I just want to circle back to what I was mentioning in last week's episode, if anyone could hear me with my voice, of my obsession with music, like the store music in different consoles. So I've been doing a bit of research going through all the store music in consoles, and there's actually not many. So you've got the Wii that does it, the Wii U did it, the DSi had music as well, and I'm not sure if the 3DS has it, to be honest. I couldn't really tell, or if it is, it's kind of subtle. And the PS Vita had it. So there's only 4 consoles / handhelds that had store music. And
there you go.
Nintendo actually intentionally removed store music from the Switch, which is why it might be on the 3DS, but I honestly don't remember it being on there. Because they said, you know how now when you're on stores, there's like a preview with the trailer that always pops up and such. They intentionally removed it so that the trailers could play without any interruption and such.
Also, the Switch store, I don't know if you've used it at all, is terrible and doesn't load for the life of you. So good luck throwing in music in there too.
Yeah, I agree. It's an awful loading store. But by far, the Wii Shop channel is the best music. The DSi is like a remixed version of the Wii Shop channel, which is wicked. PS Vita is just a beautiful soundtrack itself. The Wii U's one is not that good though. They really messed up on that console, which is also why maybe on the Switch they didn't bother, because they were like, we can't replicate how good that Wii music was and such. But anyway, if anyone was interested, probably no one cared about the shop music. I find the shop music's a lot of nostalgia.
Someone cared.
Yeah, someone cared out there. Someone cared. All right, Samson, that was our, I guess, trip down memory lane up to until 2026. But that will do for part 1. Part 2, we'll talk about whatever we've been playing this week. So we'll see you in part 2.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
Welcome back to part 2 of LTO 223. Where we've just talked about how VR gaming kind of fits in our gaming rotation and some more nostalgia stuff, really. Let's talk about what we've been playing, Samson. I want to kind of hear from you first, though. I know you've jumped into some Quest Games Optimizer with a few games. Like, what games have you tried with the Quest Games Optimizer?
So the Quest Games Optimizer is a $10 quote-unquote game that optimizes your Quest games.
Makes so much sense.
It's got profiles that sort of enhance or can potentially enhance how certain games look or run. I saw that Crafting Crimes was there, and so since we had recently played it, I hopped into that. It said it had an HD profile, and Dan, it did look like it was in HD.
It did.
Did it add all that? Did it add all that much? Not really, but yeah, I could tell the difference. Certainly on the models, everything just kind of looked cleaner. Then I saw that Forefront was there, and it has it didn't say HD, it said like a performance profile. And I got to say, Forefront is looking good, and it ran well for me. I don't really know the innards of it, but it did. It didn't crash on me or really lose frame rates, and it did look good for me. But, Dan, this is going to lead me into my Forefront play, because I did a lot of playing Forefront, and Forefront is sort of VR's Battlefield take. Generally, you're on teams of, I think it's 16 on 16, and you've either got to capture points A through E, or there's a rush game mode where you're trying to get to 2 points and sort of arming them and then having to push forward to arm 2 more points, etc. And I think those are the main two game modes I played. There's a new map called Tunnels, and it's much tighter. You're literally playing in tunnels, and there's sort of like little smaller tunnels that you can go around. I only played it once. I did kind of like it, but it definitely felt different.
Is that essentially a new mode or like a new update of that, or is it
tunnels?
Yeah,
it's just,
or is that always just a new map? Okay, got it.
There's a lot to unlock, though. I am level 3 or 4 for each class except for Recon, which I'm level 1. Which I also started to leveling up, so I'm almost level 2. Recon is the sniper, and one of the perks, Dan, is you can place down this spawn beacon. So then all your squad mates can spawn on that one spot. So you can go hide it in like behind enemy territory or wherever you want. And then your squad mates can spawn on it. Kind of fun. I need to play it more because I need a better sniper rifle. The one I'm using is god awful, and I'm god awful. So it's just like god awful multiplied. Assault, I think I'm level 4. I've got 4 of the guns unlocked, but Dan, there's still 4 or 5 guns for me to unlock. And man, I've been putting in time, I feel, but it's slow, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the grind, and eventually it'll have. So I also have the game on Steam. I'll be able to take my profile from Meta and move it over to that game. So I was worried I was going to have to level up both characters and do it all
cross
twice.
save essentially.
Not yet. But it's on the roadmap.
It's on the roadmap. Got it.
It's in early access still. Yeah.
Fair.
So that's Forefront. I'm having a blast, but it is a bit of a grind. I've been using my pistol a lot more to try to get the perks on my pistols, and so you just see me running around, looking like an idiot, not doing well.
Yeah, fair enough. And so you said you use the Quest Games optimizer for it.
Yeah.
Does it kind of smooth it out a little bit with the performance mode? Like,
so to say, I couldn't tell you really, but honestly, Forefront's been running pretty smooth for me since the alpha.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to tell.
Oh, nice. Very well. Well, this Quest Games optimizer, I actually do own it. I've never installed it, though. I know how stupid that sounds, but I think because I realized I needed to sideload it, and then I just didn't bother. But I do own it. I did pay the $10 or so to get it, and I should install it because I can see here there's like 1,500 optimized games in here. And
wow, I only remember seeing like, I don't know, the list had 30 or a little bit more, but maybe I didn't look through everything.
I'm just on the website.
I might have just sorted by ones with profiles, but it does put all the team beef, all that stuff, all in one nice little location, and they all have thumbnails. So it's a little perk. It's a nice little perk.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's not just like optimizing your games, but it seems like it is once you install it. Obviously, for some people, they might be like, "Oh, I don't want to toggle with all the settings," but because it has profiles, you could just.
It's a lot of tinkering.
Yeah,
potentially.
But with the profiles,
but there is the profiles.
You just use the profiles, and you could get somewhere. But it's I've heard. I think it was Pow Pow on our Discord said that Arcane Age looks night and day of how well it looks.
In Legendary Tales, yeah.
It must affect your battery, but I know you don't. You always have a battery connected, so it wouldn't be too bad. But I need to test this out because I have it. I just need to install it, and that kind of brings me straight to the point where I've been playing Thief VR. I've been jumping back in the effort to tackle my backlog, just what we've been talking about in part 1. This game is on Quest Games Optimizer, and I really should use it because there has been a little jank recently of what I've been playing, a little bit of stuttering as well. And I'm like, oh, it does have a performance mode, so maybe that will sort it out. But jump back into Thief since December, and my gosh, does this game need you to continuously play, because I forgot half of the things of what to do in this game and how to kind of traverse. It eventually came back to me, but I'm definitely not as slick and smooth as I used to be. And this game, to start off, does not play well in an open interface. So me and Samson, use the open facial interface from Meta. So you have like 2 gaps on either side, or so so you can kind of see your peripheral on the left and right, just to get more air into the eyes, and also it might just be better for mixed reality in general. I love using this. I even using it on a game like Batman or Deadpool, I'm so immersed I kind of forget that I can see next to me. But with Thief VR, you really need to play in full immersive. Like, you really don't want that. I realized because of the light bleed, it actually made it even harder to see because it's so dark in this game. It makes it so hard to see with the light flashes from the lenses. So I turned the light behind me off. So I only had my lamp on, which is in front of me, and that helped a lot. But honestly, the thing is, I don't know where I put it. I must have left it in my storage locker in downstairs or so. So I need to go down there and grab it. I should just have it here, the normal one. But yeah,
my way to combat that, because sometimes I do play Forefront with it. And I'm like, oh, I just want to be immersed here. Mm-hmm. I shut the lights off and I turn on my IR light.
Oh, clever. Yeah, very clever. I don't have an IR light, so that doesn't work for me, but that's a great idea. But like I said, it took a little while to get back into it, and was really lost and really confused at a certain point. I actually am stuck where I am now, but I think that was more to do with like this painting puzzle that I can't kind of figure out. So I just need to YouTube it because I spent so long trying to figure it out and it's not opening for me.
You just need to make it into a happy painting.
The painting's already happy. Basically, there's a note, and I need to get open. Basically, behind the painting is the thing that I need, and essentially the note says start from the top and work your way down to open the locks of the painting. And I'm putting my hand at the top and opening each lock, but they keep opening and closing, and then the whole painting doesn't open, and I don't get what I'm doing. I don't know if it's jank or just user error, probably the latter, but I'm a little bit stuck there, so I need to just look on the YouTube video and just kind of figure it out. But the tension's immense in this game. I'm really enjoy playing the game. However, a part of me is like, does this game add so much tension and immersion because it's slightly broken at times? So basically, I'm like in dark rooms and dark halls, and I see a guard. I take the guard out with my arrow and such, and when you take a guard out, it starts to snore and sleep, basically, so you can hear snoring when you're close. But throughout this room, even if I went as far apart, as far as away, I can still hear the snoring, like the guy's next to me. So I'm thinking there's someone else near me, but that there isn't. And then I hear so many footsteps and people talking of the guards outside the building, but I can't tell if there is people around the corner or outside the building, or is it just like some voice issues.
Ambient.
Yeah, some sound issues, because I had that in the past when I did my initial impressions. I still remember walking up the stairs to the door that was meant to be locked, and my character says, of course the door's locked, I gotta find another way, but I just opened the handle and the door was open. And I was like, maybe that was to do with something else in the past or something like that. So I think they've got maybe there's some audio sync issues in terms of that. So when you're in a room, you can hear a lot of steps, so you're on your edge because you're like, oh, there's like 3 guards near me and such. Then you look in the room and there's no one there, and then you keep thinking that there's guards coming up behind you, so it's giving you more tension because you're playing in the almost pitch black darkness when you're trying to open a door, but then no one comes, and you're like, now it's getting to the point where I'm so tense, like the tension's immense, but at the same time, is it just janky and that's why it feels more tension rather than there is actually someone coming or something, So it's a weird one, but I'm still enjoying it. Like I said, I got a little stuck, but I'm going to try and now stick to Thief VR until I maybe not finish it, because I'm not the best at finishing games just like you are, Samson, but get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm good with this game kind of thing. Because I think if I leave it another 2 months or whatever and try and come back to it, I'm going to forget everything and it's going to take me a minute. Some games are it takes you a minute and you get back into it. This one feels like it's taking me a lot longer because there's a lot of stealth things that you need to do, and if you get caught, most of the time you die unless you manage to deflect them. So yeah, but I am enjoying Thief VR, to be honest. It's like feels like a solid 3 stars out of 5 kind of game is what it feels like. Like it's an average to decent game with some VR jank, but yeah. Anything else, Samson, that you want to discuss? Yeah. What you played?
Yeah. Well, oh man, there's another game I forgot, but I'll get into this one, then I'll remember that one. Lumines. I picked it up on Steam, and this time I played some multiplayer with Amelia, friend of the show.
She messaged me about that, actually.
The multiplayer is really interesting. So normally, Lumines is a puzzle game, much like Tetris. Blocks fall, and you've got to combine patterns to make the blocks disappear at its core. Mm-hmm. Normally, I'm playing nice and slow. I'm seeing what's coming, what I have to do. You work from the middle out because it's easiest, and then when that starts getting jammed up, you work your way out. Multiplayer, pretty much the inverse, Dan. You want to go as fast as possible because as you're getting points and bonuses, you're sending blocks over to their side, and they're sending blocks over to your side. And the only way to get rid of these blocks, they're coming in, they start on the sides and they work their way in, and they're semi-permanent. I say this because you can get rid of them if you, so you're trying to make for a cube, a square out of your colors. If you make a square near next to one of these sides, it'll go away. So you can kind of keep your space open, combat it that way.
Nice.
But they start coming faster and faster and all that. And it's intense. But it's pretty fun. I liked it. It was a good time. I do think I prefer the single player where you get a lot more of the visuals. The multiplayer, you see both boards. You don't get like the real visual effects.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer the slower pace generally. But Luminous Arise, very, very fun, very good game. And I just gotta play through it now on Steam to unlock all the levels.
Yeah, Amelia was saying to me that she says the VR is nice, but mostly plays in flat as well with that one. So, but yeah, she also says very, very different. Like the multiplayer is very, very different to the actual main game. But that's fun. That's really fun. Yeah. I always forget that it's on flat.
Yeah, and I think it works on the Steam Deck too. And then last but not least, I got into some Walkabout on Sunday with Future Proof, Earth Witness, Envy.
Nice.
Liana, and gosh, I'm so sorry if I'm forgetting one or two other people. But we played some Closest Putt because we got so many people, and it was a blast. And it even leveled the playing field. This was Future Proof's first time playing, and he won a couple holes because of that. Yeah,
very good. Are you doing another one this Sunday, or is it in a couple of weeks?
Yeah. This Sunday, I think this Sunday night. And then I'll probably skip the Super Bowl Sunday because
that makes sense.
I'll be both traveling from New York and then watching the Super Bowl. And then the following weekend is Valentine's weekend, so I don't no guarantees there. And then the following weekend is my actual real birthday, so also no guarantees there. So it might be this weekend and then see in March.
We got to do a Super Bowl morning, fresh 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll be coming home from New York.
You'll be back. And then you got to do a Sweetopia hard for the Valentine's Day to be in the mood. Once again, you can also do it in the morning. And then for your birthday, I don't really have like a birthday course in Walkabout, but you can just play your favorite course as your birthday,
That'd be a really hard one because everybody's birthday is so personal.
Right? How would a birthday course work? Maybe just have some common birthday stuff, like there's cakes.
Or like
balloons.
How people celebrate birthday culturally sort of throughout the world.
Yeah.
Sort of be able to mix all that in. I don't know. It'd be hard.
I don't know. That would be harder than like a holiday course and such. But very, very good. All right, that's what we've been playing. There's no games out this week. Unless there is, I don't know because I can't really find any. So maybe no notable games out this week. Yes.
Legendary Tales has a demo now.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it does. I've only heard about that game because of the developer statement of like how Meta, what we were talking about the other day, where Meta and the experience with Meta and the experience with Sony and such. Yeah, it's the only reason why I've heard of that game, but I've heard people are liking this game. Which is very cool. But yeah, a demo is out now, and if you check his Twitter or X, I think he's put a discount code in there as well to go play that game and get 10% off and such. So very, very good. And also, before we round off this part, Mighty Coconut just mentioned as well that Tiki at Coco is getting giant mode and tiny mode. Is it tiny mode? Just mini mode. As when there's releases as well. So that's always going to be fun. All right, Samson, that will do for part 2. In part 3, we're going to go through these getting to know us part 4 of questions from Future Proof. So we'll see you in part 3.
Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show.
Welcome back to part 3 of LTO 223. We've talked about how VR fits in our gaming rotation. We've talked about what we've been playing. Now, Samson, let's go through these questions. Future Proof's been waiting for us to answer these questions for a good month and a bit, or maybe even 2 months now. I think he sent it when we were doing those pre-recorded podcasts, so we haven't got him to do it for a long time, and here we are. So, Samson, let's just go back and forth. Maybe you can go with the first question here, and then we can keep going back and forth. So, what is the first question from Future Proof here?
Yes.
And wait, before we preface this, he says these are questions mostly about Mars, gaming, and history. It's a very interesting mix. Over to you.
As most questions are, really.
Right.
You're off to live on Mars. At times hot, at times cold. You can only take one drink, Replicator, that recreates a non-alcoholic drink 100% authentically. There we go. What drink, hot or cold, do you choose to have access to for the rest of your life, Dan?
Apart from water, I think water is just a given, right? Let's pretend that's always there.
It's not a given, Dan. You've got to drink this for the rest of your life.
I feel like water's an interest. Water's obviously the obvious choice, but I think outside of that, I think if I only could pick one, I love a good freshly squeezed orange juice. So I'm going to go for that. That's always my go-to drink on an airplane, even though it's not freshly squeezed.
Do you know how many freaking oranges you're going to have to bring to Mars to have freshly squeezed orange juice unlimited?
I have this drink replicator that recreates the drink, so I need the oranges. So I think that would be my number one choice, with the close second of classic Indian tea. So kind of like a chai, but Indian tea. So that would be my two. But my first is orange juice. What about you?
Dan, well, I'm going to be real basic here because I really just need to say water. Because, Dan, as much as I do like soda and other beverages, if I'm drinking one for the rest of my life, I choose water a lot. But here's the thing. It's a little twist, Dan. Twist. Because I do often put in like some
flavor drops, bit of cordial.
A little Gatorade powder, or sometimes a little liquid IV powder.
Oh, some electrolytes.
Yeah, a little electrolytes. So if I need to do that, I guess I do that. But if I'm picking a water brand, like a bottle, I'm bringing... Oh, it's a close one. I want to bring Poland Springs, but I go with my heart, my gut, and where I went to college. And I bring Saratoga water.
Oh, very nice. I would bring Smart Water. I love Smart Water. But yeah, I was trying to pick something that's not water, Samson. But I almost drink nothing but water, to be honest. So it's fair. Samson, second question: how did you two meet? How did we meet? We saw each other on Tinder.
Well, that's why I was going to give the listeners some options here, and then see which one they thought was the real one. Did we meet in A, Horizon World? B, we both reached for the same VR headset at a PAX East, game show. We're actually cousins. All right, Dan, you can go ahead and tell the real story.
I thought you were going to give one real one and the rest of them are just all different. That's funny. I had a YouTube channel called Playtest VR. You can still check it out. It's still active, but I was not active because I don't post anything on it.
It's resting.
It's there. And I opened a Patreon. Samson was my first and only Patreon, to be honest, because then I closed the Patreon and it turned into this. But Samson was messaging me. I think we messaged each other on Reddit as well. I think it was for some reason, but maybe I'm incorrect. I think it was on there too. But anyway, long story short, we connected each other somehow through like a specific messaging platform.
It must have been YouTube comments.
Yeah, but I feel like it was on Reddit too. I feel like it was on like Reddit comments as well. I feel like not the comments, but like a DMs and such. For some reason, I got that in my head, but I could be wrong.
Reddit DMs wasn't me.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. So I don't know. But anyway,
it must have been an email
somehow. And basically, the Oculus were doing their first ever gaming showcase, and we were really excited. This was in 2021. And I asked Samson if he wanted to come on a YouTube video and kind of go through predictions. And we also had a bunch of YouTubers come in and give their predictions, which was fun, especially fun at the time because Meta Ambassador stuff didn't exist, so no one knew anything, so it was more fun. Now, like, you know, if you ask anybody, most of them, like, we already know everything that's happening, and we already have our YouTube videos lined up and such, for example. But yeah, that's how we basically met in terms of online. And then obviously the podcast got born. That's a whole different story. But we met in person too.
I went back through my email and I did a search for Playtest VR. And I think I found the first comment I left on one of your videos, which was on your Pro Putt Ed's full swing support and giveaway. Oh no, that's LTO. No, that was an LTO episode. I was after it. Wow. All right. Yep. No, I thought I found something good, and I didn't.
Never mind. Yeah, and then we met in person for the first time in 2022.
This was before LTO was the podcast.
Yeah, this was. So LTO was always. I had like a weekly news show on Fridays.
Yeah.
Just so I could just have at least one YouTube video always in rotation, but I used to do like 2, but that would be my weekly one on Fridays.
It was before the podcast. Yeah. It was 5 years ago from today, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, January, we started, what was the comment? It said, love the video again. I'm a little nervous about the quote-unquote update to side questing. Specifically, will all the games I have there be transferred to the new Oculus Store side quest type thing? My favorite game to play has been Walkabout Mini Golf. I love the social aspect and have been able to share VR with so many new people with it. Excellent choices in the giveaway. Fingers crossed. Haha.
I have no idea what the giveaway was.
It was for, for Pro Putt. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, I think things haven't changed, Samson, for you. Things haven't changed.
Yeah, not too much.
And then we met in person in 2022 for the first time, briefly, not for too long. And then obviously had more of a meet in person for PAX East. I think it was 2022 or 2023, 2022. I don't remember. I had a wedding in Boston, so it kind of coincided.
All the years, boom.
Honestly, ever since from 2020, from 2022 to 2024 or 2025, they've kind of molded into each other.
Dude, honestly,
because COVID 2020 and 2021 kind of feel like they were their own thing, but anything after 2021, everything else has been blended together, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even feel like Biden existed. I'll be honest. It feels like I've had 10 years of Trump, and that's where I'm at right here.
That's true.
And it's like 2016 or whatever.
Yeah.
In fact, it's been a big meme or whatever, big thing, big nostalgia point.
Yeah, the 2016
fucking sucked though. So let's move on. Number 3.
What is the one flat screen single player game that you'd like to take to Mars with you, assuming that you'll never have access to any other single player flat screen game other than the one you pick? And he does say, I know I've previously asked you both the favorite flat screen and VR games all the time, but your answer may potentially be one of those, not one of those, nor the top one, if you know you can only play one again and again on Mars. Samson, your answer first.
Yeah, Dan, by the way, you skipped question 3, but I'll answer this one.
Oh, did. Yeah, I did.
I will pick Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy because it gets me 3 games in one, so I get to cheat like I typically do for these types of questions, and it's a great series of games.
It's such a cheater.
Well, really, I went to type in Crash Bandicoot, and then I was like, do I pick 2 or 3? And then I was like, wait a minute, they're all on one.
Yeah, honestly. Very good. Mine's Red Dead 2 for obvious reasons.
Very good.
I could play that game all day. There's millions of things you could do in that game. And I generally think that it is the perfect game ever made.
It's a good one.
So that would be mine. Samson, since obviously I know I skipped that question, but the next question is the same question. It says same question, but for a single player VR game. What would you take? That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm asking you because I actually don't have an answer. I'm thinking.
Suppose I would want something with replayability, Dan, because I'm stuck with this game forever.
Single player as well.
Yeah, I'm tempted to pick like Lumines, right? Because I love my rhythm games. It's kind of new, but I think eventually I would get sick of the music and or the patterns. One game I think I could play forever and also have forever fun is Walkabout.
That's why I was saying.
I hope I get all the future DLCs included.
I would also want to say Walkabout, but I can't. And it's also technically multiplayer, but I guess we're only saying the single player portion of it. But no, yeah, your future DLCs is definitely cheating. You just got to cut it off whenever you go to Mars. I don't. I'm not too sure. I'm not. My gut says just bring Batman because it's the best one, to be honest, or one of the best single player games out there. Would I get bored of it eventually? Probably. Probably.
I feel like I'm just not a gamer anymore.
Right.
I played Batman 200 times.
Exactly. Right. So that's probably a poor choice. So I'm really struggling. You know what? My gut instinct for some reason is going to the original Walking Dead game. I have a really good time in that game, and even though I probably also will get bored of it, there's probably many ways you could play that game with different crafting. So maybe that gives you more replayability than it does with Batman. So that's what I'm going to ask. Samson, go back to the question I didn't ask, but this will be technically question number 5.
What is your Danonite?
Like kryptonite. My kryptonite would be some Indian tea with some Cadbury's chocolate fingers. That's my kryptonite. I'd eat boxes of those fingers.
And for me, it's what is your Samsonite? And it's my luggage.
That is correct. I really hope your luggage is Samsonite. I'd be really. I also read it as that, and I was like, what is he asking here? What is he asking? What is your Samsonite?
Well, I just wrote my luggage, Dan.
What?
I can't.
What is your kryptonite? What can you break every time you see something or want to eat something or something like that, and you're like, I can't. I'm just gonna have to eat it or do it. Is that
what kryptonite does to Superman?
Yeah.
He craves. He doesn't crave it. It just
it doesn't crave it, but it yeah. Let's say it takes it out. It takes him out of his flow, shall we say? Like if I see a box of open box of Cadbury's fingers, I am leaving this podcast and grabbing it, and that's my kryptonite. I've now disrupted this flow because I've now grabbed. That's what I'm thinking of.
Bag of Cape Cod chips.
Nice. Love it. Samson, what career did you imagine having as a kid? That's a really interesting one.
I don't really think I ever imagined having one, which is why I am where I'm at. Probably.
That's really funny. That's a very funny answer. You didn't want to dream to be an astronaut?
That's like a thing of the past, Dan. Honestly, like my whole life, I've sort of known this. Like, oh, you're not going to just have one job for longer. I never thought I'd have a job longer than 15 years. Probably, I probably will end up, at some point. But in my mind, I never really thought that would be a thing.
So, career as a kid. Always wanted to be a magazine writer, a games writer itself, and I used to write. Like I used to love writing as a kid, as pre 10-year-old, down. And I always used to love like the PlayStation official magazine, the Nintendo official magazine, and those kind of things. And I used to, even if I didn't have like one of the consoles, I still buy them once a month and such, and I used to love reading them. So I always wanted to be in games journalism or like just writing in the magazine and such for games at the time, because that's what I was really into. But honestly, it could have been sports as well, to be honest, at that time. And I used to write Luigi's Mansion fan fiction, and I still have at least one of those books at home. In fact, I only have one. I've never found any of the other ones. And it's really thin. Like there's probably about I don't know, 15 pages long, and it's all handwritten, and it's got illustrations and such. And it was Luigi's Mansion 2. And
I'm looking for it on the internet right now.
It's not on the internet, no. It's not on the internet, but it is at home. It is somewhere in the garage, and I know we have it because I saw it like maybe a few years ago, so I know we still have it. But yeah, it's I made a fictional bad guy called Doug Dead, and it was basically looked like Shadow the Hedgehog or Knuckles, and with no like legs. It was kind of like floating on its own, kind of like UFO kind of thing. But that was the evil person, and yeah, I
Doug Dead.
It's called Doug Dead. I don't know where that kind of that came from, but yeah, it had very much a Knuckles. I think it was more Knuckles than Shadow head, and then floating on like a UFO and such. And it was the evil guy basically. And yeah, I used to love it. I had no idea where the other ones were. Apparently, according to my book at the back, I wrote 6 of them, but only the second one survived. And yeah, but for some reason, like as I was getting older, maybe my Indian roots came into me, and I started getting better at maths and science than I did English. So I went engineering route, which was what my university was. And I tried English. I tried getting to like in high school and such, but I was just never that good as much as I used to. I used to be really good. And then it just switched. And yeah, so I guess I'm technically, obviously having the podcast kind of definitely scratches the itch for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a good job I didn't get into that because that medium's now disappeared. But
it's still
there, but it's a little bit different. What's the next question, Samson? Question 7.
What technology did you imagine having by the year 2020 when you were a kid that has not become either a reality or particularly popular? Dan, what technology did you imagine having by the year 2020 when you were a kid that's not become either a reality or particularly popular?
I struggled with this one, to be quite honest with you. My partner had a good one. She said that she's surprised that there's not any, that automation in terms of in your homes, like having HomeKit and having like your lights turn on and all that stuff. Obviously, some people do have like very smart homes and such, but it's not a norm.
Google.
Yeah, it's not as much of a norm as she thought, which was an interesting one. My instantly went to, I really liked, the Spider-Man toys where you'd have like the web shooter on your hand. I thought that would be better nowadays. I'm not saying that you'd be swinging around, but instead of like the blue, like random liquid popping out, but it actually sticks to something, I thought it'd be better by now.
So you didn't mean all toys? You meant specifically, I thought that the Spider-Man web toy from my youth would be much better now.
Exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking that I'd be able to web sling, but I'm just saying I'd be able to stick to things, and I thought it'd be better.
Yeah. This was a tough one. I don't really know what I thought, but I did think that flying cars would be here by now, I think. And even if I didn't, I sure as hell thought we'd be closer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, we got the autonomous cars
idiot,
at least. Samson, tell us a story how you first got curious about VR gaming and how you eventually got into VR gaming. The whens, the wheres, the whats, the whys.
Yes, I was visiting my college roommate sometime like 2015, somewhere in 2016 maybe, and he was doing some work with his VR headset, and I tried it out. And a few years later, when the Quest 1 came out, I got that on a Black Friday, sort of a whim. And I didn't at this time know even PlayStation VR 1 existed, because I did have a PlayStation 4, and I couldn't even conceive of what PC gaming was at that point. So from Quest 1, I naturally got into Beat Saber. Vader Immortal, I think, came with it. And then that's sort of how I got into the YouTube, was because I was like, what else is out there? And that was the only way to really discover, or it's the way I found to discover new games.
Yeah, that's very fair. The Where, my dad bought a PSVR 1 and a PSVR PSVR 1 and a PS4 Pro, basically. It's hard to say. I don't know, when the VR, he was really interested more than me, to be honest. And he was like, I don't know, we didn't have a PS4 at the time. We had an Xbox, so I had an Xbox One S, I think, and he bought the whole thing. And I was at university. Was I at university? Yes, I was at university. And yeah, he bought the whole thing, and that's kind of, it was sick. It was amazing. Like playing Resident Evil on there was amazing. So that was my first, and then that's how we actually got into VR gaming. And then when I moved to Canada, I had to kind of leave all that stuff in behind, and then I was out of VR for probably 2 years. And then when Quest 2 came out, I got obviously the Quest 2. Samson, next question. We got 2 more left. Tell us your top 3 TV shows of all time.
Yeah. Number 1, easy. Seinfeld. I watch it constantly, still to this day. Next 2, kind of harder. There's no real other show that I can just like watch all the time. So I just tried to think of the shows that brought me a lot of enjoyment over the years, and that's Community. Minus the gas leak year, and Reno 911. And actually, Dan, I was playing Forefront, and the dude who joined my squad was Lieutenant Dangles, and I was like, I immediately said, I was like, I'm gonna like this guy. He's got a Reno 911 reference right off the bat.
That's brilliant. Honestly, I could probably give a top 10, but my top 3 in no order is, I love Dexter, Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul. I think they're my like top 3. But close behind Samson is Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Band of Brothers. They'll be my next 3.
I almost put Curb, but I didn't want to put 2 Larry David ones. And I almost put Severance, but there's, I gotta let it finish.
Yeah, exactly. Samson, final question.
Yeah, which flat screen game world would you most like to actually live in? And which VR game would you most like to actually live in?
Samson, there's only one real answer here for the flat screen. It's Pokemon. It's Pokemon.
But which island or which one?
We'll go to Kanto, and we'll have a blast. And it's such a beautiful world. I don't have to do the gym training stuff or whatever. I just get my Squirtle and
you're just gonna hang around in Pallet Town, huh?
Pretty much. I'm not gonna leave home. I'm gonna stay home and get a Caterpie and have a great time. But no, Pokemon is the only real choice, I would say, in my opinion. And the VR world, that's a much harder one, but Walkabout seems pretty nice. Although that's a cheat. That's a cheat. So Walkabout, and I would live in where would I live in? Honestly, I would live in Tiki Akoko.
So you changed from Walkabout to Walkabout. I like it.
Well, I thought I had to pick one of the courses to live in rather than every single course. But yeah, back to you.
Probably the island from Crash Bandicoot 1, the first level. It's sort of ingrained in my mind as like what video games, when I think of video games, like that's where I get brought back to. A lot of nostalgia for me. And, I'd like to think that I could survive against those enemies on level 1.
Yeah, just a level 1.
Yeah. And then VR game, probably Vertigo 2. Lots of different biomes, and what a fucking crazy world.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that will be on Steam Frame.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, maybe if they can bring it to standalone. PC VR for sure, but if they could do it standalone, we will see. Very good, Samson. Thanks, Future Proof, to those questions, those 10 questions. We look forward to another set of 10, maybe in a month or two's time, as I'm sure there will be. But it's always fun to go into there. And thanks for everyone listening and watching to this show. Next week, we should have... Actually, I don't want to say what episode it is, just in case we don't do it next week. So next week, we'll have another great episode. So stick around. Join us on Discord. Join us. Subscribe to us everywhere as much as you can. And Samson, keep saying goodbye on the video podcast. But I've been Dan. He's been Samson, just over there. We'll see everyone next week.